Okay, hello guys. I just started refactoring the logic of CodeSandbox, and I wanted to show you how I do it. So here we have the app. I can refresh it, and what happens in the background now is that we have the cerebral debugger. So we can have a look at what's happening here. It's doing some state changes, grabbing some JVT stuff. Lots of stuff happening here, but if we have a look at this one, I can actually run this sandbox page mounted action now, and then we can actually verify, does it do the same stuff? So we can see that, okay, it's set authenticating to true, which it also does in Cerebral. It's grabbing the JVT token, it listens to connection change, and since actually this connection change callback, which is an action, runs synchronously, it will actually appear as if it actually ran from the listen to connection change action. So that is how Overmind works. Like if you have an action and you trigger an action within an action, it shows it as like internally executed. Anyways, and then we're running a different action, set stored settings. Things looks a little bit different because just because Overmind works differently. So here we have an effect called setting store, as it's called a provider in Cerebral, and it's just a method. I think I refactored this to a method called getAll, and it doesn't return anything, so we don't have any mutation either because it didn't change anything. The reason is that we're not putting this object, we're not assigning it. We are kind of using object assign, so we're merging it, but if there are no mutations, there was nothing merged, so nothing pops up. Just to explain like the differences here. And then we're setting the key bindings. There are no key bindings, and we're starting the key bindings manager. And then we are resetting the JVT token, and yeah. So as you can see, it doesn't have these what's it called? Conditional stuff here, execution, because in Cerebral it's functional, while we're doing a more imperative approach here. And the reason we're doing a more imperative approach is that I think it will be easier for people to contribute, because most developers learn imperative programming first, and then they kind of go into functional if they need a challenge. But I think it's a good choice for this project. But yeah, and then we can see we're grabbing the contributors, and yeah, we get the same information here as well. Oh, it's not setting the contributors. So that's kind of cool. We can see that we're grabbing them, but we're not setting them. I'm not sure why, so I'm going to look into that now. But this is how the process will be. Like, we're going to implement a new sequence, and we'll run it in parallel, and then just verify across, is it doing what we expect it to do? And when it does, we should be ready to connect this to the components and start kind of like debugging that, because we are going to meet some challenges there as well. But yeah, hope it makes sense. Thanks.